What's poppin', everybody? BDA back like we never left, and we're here today with another episode. The Ting.
Well, you could call it that. Quick little explanation on why we got that name. I think that name was given as a mockery to my accent by Dritz. I think he was the one that says that thing because I don't know. He perceived that I say something as a thing,
Yeah,
but it became that. It became that.
yeah.
But what happened a while ago? You said BDA. Is that like a shortening for BDLR? Or is it like an acronym for Brago DS? Because it serves both purpose.
It's more Brago DS than BDA law. Yeah.
Okay. Do people know that you're the same person?
I don't know, honestly. I think some people do, right? But there are a lot of people sometimes when I respond in the comment section on the Braga DS and they're like, yo, I was trying to talk to BDA law. I'm like,
shit.
like, you fucking
They don't know that you're the same person.
Yeah.
So what would happen if you comment with Don Brago then?
I don't think anybody. Only people that know about Don Brago is OGs from Braga DS.
Oh, geez, okay.
Yeah. But like those people.
But he had a mixed basketball channel.
Brizzy Ace.
But he had a basketball channel, right?
Yeah, Brizzy Ace.
Yep. So guys, there you go. That's all the Bragos for channels, and they are pretty successful. I mean, they ought to be successful if they had enough time in the day to get every content out for them.
That's tough. I mean, I can't put out my burner because we got another burner. But
I know what the burner is. I know what the burner is. Yeah, I don't have a burner. I don't know why. I should make one. That give you amenity to do certain stuff that you probably couldn't do on your main, you know?
Gotta always have a burner, my guy. Gotta always.
All right, I'm gonna get one. So I want to lead us off into this chapter here. I want to do it.
Do you want to talk about the cover page? Did you care about it?
Yeah. There's some interesting details here. I never even noticed until I first looked at it right now. Well, I looked at it before, but until I first examined it. So Jinbei's there, which I think is the first cover page that he's been exclusively included as a straw hat. So there's no if or buts anymore.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It feels like it was a long time.
Notice that Luffy has Sabo pipe or his weapon, like.
Yeah, he does.
How many notice that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, with the cover story stuff, like I look at it and like, oh, it's cool, but I try not to.
Oda singles out the monster trio, or at least we're calling it the monster trio same way by giving them hot dogs. So Zoro has a purple and Luffy has a light blue.
Why Jinbei don't got one?
You're cutting out a bit.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Why I was saying why Jinbei doesn't have one.
Maybe there isn't one fat enough to really match his aesthetic. I don't know. I'm just trying anything to understand. Also interesting detail. There's a very interesting detail here with Enma. So I think this is Oda's first. Well, not his first, but in terms of Zoro, like drawing Zoro, colored with Enma. So Enma is dark purple, which is kind of weird because Enma went through about 3 different, not only size changes, but also color changes. If you go back to the cover of volume 96, it was titled "I Am Oden, I Was Born to Boil." Covers from chapter 965 to chapter 974. The cover page, you can clearly see Enma in Oden's hand, and it doesn't look anything like what it looks in Zoro's hand. It looks light pink, light purple.
Maybe he's transformed over the years, bro.
I have no idea. First,
maybe
first the length. First the length, then the width, then the color.
Yeah.
And the next thing as well, it's interesting. I didn't notice, but purple actually mean royalty in Japan too. I thought it was the Western world that purple represent royalty. So it kind of makes sense for Oden to have it, but is this some indication to Zoro maybe being a part of one of the the major tribes in Wano?
Shimotsuki.
Yes, I'm thinking that.
Hey, like we talked about it before, Ushimaru looks a lot like Zoro. Zoro looks a lot like Ushimaru. So it wouldn't be surprising. I'm not sure if Oda, that's the route he wants to go, where he's making, you know, everyone in the monster trio like some special lineage. But that as far as the sizing thing, it doesn't matter to me anymore. Honestly, like
it doesn't matter.
it's inconsistent. It's whatever. But the thing is, it's only inconsistent based on the official sizing charts that Oda normally gives out, and even Oden, when he was on Whitebeard's ship, it looks like he was towering over Roger. Like he's like a huge man, So, of course, and even somebody was pointing out the sizing chart they had for Izo and Kinemon, and how Kinemon should be a lot
taller than Izo. I had to cut you off, Brago, but somebody, so they do something on Twitter. They did something on Twitter. There's a guy, I don't remember what the guy's name was as well. So we showed the Kinemon and Izo picture where they're almost neck to neck, an eye level, and he draw the bottom where Izo is standing on a bucket.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I think that was
that's the only way Izo can actually read Kinemon.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. But I've talked about this before, where like Vista is a lot taller, larger than Mihawk, based on the sizing chart. You cannot tell that when they're fighting.
Exactly.
So I think the sizing thing is like it's something that Oda plays with. It's like a fun thing that he messes around with. Like, Katakuri is this tall, Luffy is this small. But it's like when it comes to the story, the sizing is always going to be relatively, relatively close. It's not going to be as insane as Oda wants it to be in his head, because it can't work that way.
Yeah, it wouldn't work that way.
Because even Luffy fighting Katakuri, like Luffy should go to Katakuri like knees.
Yes, he should have a much harder time to reach his face. But
so it is what it is with that. It's not.
Quite ironically, Luffy's small size helped him versus Katakuri, because on the Terlato and the Magura, it could barely hit him because he was so small. So Luffy got an advantage there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Robin holding Frankie? Are you one of those guys who ship these two? Because I don't really care that much, to be honest.
I don't care that much about shipping.
Yeah, I don't care that much.
It's a fun thing sometimes, just like troll people or talk about. But as far as like Robin, if she ends up with Frankie, bro, like I honestly could care less. I think it's interesting that Oda's doing this, even with talking about how he doesn't really cover romance and things like that.
And all that.
So, we've seen Robin interact with Frankie before, in a way that people are like, So I don't know. I think it's a cool thing. I don't know if Oda's gonna cover more shipping in the future. It doesn't seem like Oda's thing, but I think it's just a funny thing for Robin and the people that ship her with Frankie to talk about, or people that ship Robin with Jinbei or Zoro. I don't fucking know, or even Law.
I would say Zoro. Oh yeah, Robin did make a shot at Law. Yeah, she did shoot a shot at Law. Law shut her down.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm good.
Just one more minor detail here, which I'm going to point out, that, and it's also with Zoro. Wasn't this like a perfect opportunity to couple Enma with Water Ichimonji? Seeming that it was created by the same person, Shumasuke Kozuburo. But here Zoro has the Sand Architects. I mean, I thought this would be like a perfect chance to have like the parallel swords, one that cut down the heavens, one that cut down to hell. But Oda kind of missed that opportunity, I guess.
Maybe make some more sense as the chapters go on.
That'll be cool.
Or maybe get another cover spread with all three.
All three. But I'm hoping the Sandai doesn't go on beyond this arc, because it's pretty useless to Zoro unless Oda's going to do some like curse power to it. It's pretty out of place. Well, Nidai will complement the Owazamono trend that Oda is doing, where Enma is Owazamono, so is Water Ichimonji. So Nidai would most likely complement that.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit scared. With this Owazamono trend, because if Itetsu is right, then you can raise the sword rank, and if Zoro were to raise all three to Saijo Owazamono, that would be a bit too much for me. So That's why I'm kind of that's why I'm kind of afraid of the Owazamono thing, where Oda is doing them a step below, so he can raise all the three up to a step higher. I won't like that.
I
And the same thing applies to the concept of Black Blaze. I think Zoro should only have one. I don't think he should have three.
Yeah, if Zoro has three, that's BS. But
Yeah, it's BS. I mean, over
I don't think
800
you
year
have
time
three.
period.
I don't think you have
Yeah,
three.
I mean, it would look crazy. Like, there's only been two over like a 400 year time period between Ryuma Miyako and this one guy at three. That would be ridiculous. So hopefully stick with one. If he does,
and you think
get
that
one
the
anytime
Black
soon.
Blade should be Wado?
Wado base off not only emotional connection, but also based off of what I would say strength. Like, people don't give Wado enough credit. Remember, Wado is the only blade that we know so far who have survived an attack from Yoro. People don't really mention that much, that both of Zoro blade broke.
Yeah.
For the Wado Ichimonji, it actually survived that attack from Yoro.
Yeah.
So it is pretty hard. So I think Oda is leaning towards Enma. I mean, that's kind of what he's kind of lampshading, Enma this, Enma that. But I would love for it to be the Wado Ichimonji, just based off emotional connection with Kowina and all that. And also, that was a sword that he pledged to never lose again to Luffy. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff there with that.
Nah, you're right. You're right. I think it should be Wado as well. I mean, the thing is though, like Enma's being hyped up so much. I'm like, is Enma gonna be it? It would be kind of weird. But unless they're gonna try to sell the inherited will, or he just continued what Oden started, then it's like okay. But I don't think it'd be satisfying personally, because I feel like Wado should be the one that we see turn into a Black Blade.
Yeah, that's one that's been traveling with us for a very long time.
Right. So,
but there's something very unique about Enma, because Enma kind of complement the storyline of Zoro chasing his own tail, where the story that he ends up with that ends up to be strongest Enma is the one that was made by the guy that he first was inspired by, which is Kozaburo. So it's kind of a weird thing where he never knew that Kozaburo would be so important to his life when he first met him at the Shumatsuki village. So it's kind of like it's going back to your childhood.
It's all time. It's all time back. Yeah,
exactly.
Circle.
It's like he's chasing his tail.
It's almost like
so
it's
be
destiny.
kind of exactly, be like a poetic thing. So that could do that. That could do that. But going on to Kaido, what do you feel about this PTSD for Oden, man?
We knew he had something going on there.
Do we have a delay?
No, it's no delay. I'm just thinking. I felt like we had an idea that something was going on with Oden and Kaido. I think the surprising thing is just how much it was affecting him. Right? I think this is not the exact, but a similar scenario where for Yonko, creating an opening using mental instability.
Okay.
Because if you just look on paper, these scabbards should not be able to do anything. Kaido felt the same thing, right? He was like, "You can't. What? You're not gonna be able to do anything to me."
Yeah.
And he was shocked that they were.
He was.
I think the thing here that's the most interesting is when he's falling, he's talking about his scar, asking why does it hurt, and then and then I think this is the weird thing that I'm not sure if this is going to be a thing going forward.
What is that?
He asked, do they use his Rio too?
I have a lot to say about that, because that kind of okay. So let's start from the very beginning here. Okay. So you are right. Kaido is using you are right. Oda is using Kaido's Well, you could say it's PTSD. I mean, if you want to find any different name from the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual to diagnosis mental illness, but I will call it PTSD.
Yeah.
From Oden as I would say like an apparatus for his mental instability. But I think there's another factor here. It wasn't just Oden; it was the fact that his reputation of being invincible had finally been crushed. Remember, that was a big moment for Kaido. That was a moment like what Lucifer got from God, the kick from heaven type stuff where
Yeah.
it's a great fall. He never thought it was possible.
Yeah.
And Odin delivered that first cut to him and it really scarred him.
Yeah. And I think for the fans as well. I don't know if you remember when that happened in the community, how people were in an uproar.
Chapter 953. Because everyone thought it was a Kaido Whitebeard.
And when you find out it was Oden and this and how it happened as well, it seemed like Oden had.
It was very casual.
Yeah, it wasn't. It seemed like it was like that huge a thing. I'm sure the anime is gonna make it crazy. But
yeah, little trivia for the community here. It seemed like Oden have always possessed the ability to cut Kaido. Even when he first came back, like he didn't have to wait 5 years after, because in that 5-year time period, he did nothing. He didn't train, didn't do anything. So it's like he could have always have cut him.
Well, they said Oden got a lot stronger after his journeys with Whitebeard and
when he went, a lot of time when he went a Whitebeard ship, but when he came back, the initial 25 years when he came back, he was dancing for 5 years. In that 5-year time period, he didn't get any stronger. He didn't even fight.
Right.
So it have always was the potential in that 5-year gap to actually cut Kaido.
That is in One Piece. That's a weird thing because I don't know if Kaido was doing anything either. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's like here's the thing. Here's the thing, Brago. They were confirmation that Kaido did evolve versus Gekto Moria. Because remember, 23 years ago is when he fought Gekto Moria, while Oden was there, which is something that I kind of really despise because Shusui, the national treasure, got stolen under Oden's watch. Remember that? That happened when Oden was there.
I guess,
which is kind of a big shame. So Kaido did evolve versus Moria.
I don't know
so
if
he
I
did
blame
get stronger
Oden for that though.
I mean, given Kinemon was willing to fight Zoro to win back Shusui, I would assume that someone like Oden, who had much more of a responsibility for the country due to his lineage, would be a bit mad about that.
Well, I think for the most part, Oden is like he probably was more focused on the people.
Kaido.
Yeah, and the Kaido, okay. So that's why I think Moria was able to take advantage of that and kind of slip in and take Ryuma and Shusui. But I mean, like you said, Kaido's veil of invincibility, it was gone with Oden. And now with this moment, it was I don't want to say it was surprising because Oda, he went out of his way to set up this moment. But I guess it was a bit just I was surprised at how much they hurt him. Like I said, with Kiku piercing his hand, Kinemon being able to pierce him, I'm like, that's surprising, right? But when you look at the moment and what Oda was trying to convey, it makes sense that they exceeded his expectations and was able to pierce him. The thing with talking about do they use his Ryo too? That's a weird one for me, bro.
I don't think they do because it was made quite obviously clear back 20 years ago that Oden was stronger than every scabbard. The scabbards that remain that Kaido is saying uses Ryo, like Okiku, Kinemon, should be as strong as they were now compared to they were back then, and they weren't able to compete with Oden at all. So what I think he mean is more of a
Wait, go ahead.
But I think he mean is more of an emotional connection between Oden, where they probably share the same will spirit. I think that's kind of what he was referring to. Or you can articulate it like this. It will be somewhat of inaccurate interpretation, like category. When Luffy first saw a glimpse of the future, he's reaching my level. Even though we don't know that it wasn't really true, it's more of like a first instant interpretation of what was going on.
Yeah.
So Kaido's asking himself that question. It could be or could not be true. But judging from what I saw from Oden compared to the Scabbards, I don't think their Rio is on his level. I don't think so.
Well, I guess based on the interpretation, people are speculating, can you harness somebody else's willpower?
Okay, the only way that can be possible is if you go by the definition that Kawamatsu gave us in Ringo, where he's like, the swords are really fueled by the strength of the souls inside of them. Where he's saying that the sword in Ringo was, of course, done by the eternal growth process, where the samurais were born with given one sword, and they died with said sword. And he's saying that the souls of those samurais were inside the sword. So if they all had holding sword, then he could explain it, but they don't. So maybe it's more of a different method of transfer where it's just his willpower, the will that he wants to actualize in the world, somewhat goes again. It's an abstract thing. It's not quantifiable. It's not even tangible. It's just more of a. It is weird to explain.
Yeah,
but I'm hoping it's just more.
That's the main thing that I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that.
But characters have misinterpreted different scenarios before, so it wouldn't be crazy if Kaido they over exaggerating here.
Right, he may not know what the hell is going on. That's how he's trying to rationalize it. But people are saying, well, of course the Scabbards no Rio, they're the strongest samurai in Wano.
Okay, here's this thing, no Brago. Again, I know you do this sometime too. Many people do it. People make Rio like a. I'm gonna use a word, but I don't know if you might understand what it means. They use Rio like a colloquialism of advanced ornament, where they see more of a euphemism for what advanced ornament is, which isn't really true.
Well,
Rio doesn't really mean advanced.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. But people are using
it doesn't
it
mean
to
advanced
make it
ornament.
to kind of communicate that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're talking about advanced. Yeah.
But they trip themselves up and indirectly confuse themselves by trying to associate what Oden did, what the Scabbards did, to what Luffy and Rayleigh and Roger and Whitebeard can actually do. Remember, Oden, to our knowledge, never used advanced Haki at all. When he saw Whitebeard and Roger projecting their Haki, which is the level above the ordinary, which is the level below the internal damage and stuff, he was shocked. Remember, Oden was surprised that Whitebeard and Roger could actually do that. Which means he never knew or to actually do that. Plus,
well, to be fair, this is by the time he was still with Whitebeard.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make up. Yeah, I'm gonna say something next to prove that he didn't really know to do it.
Okay.
Remember, he never used it against Kaido. It's a normal cut. Like if you look at chapter 9-7 and Oden cut Kaido, there's no indication that he used any advanced ornament, like for say like Oda would draw it in a way where his sword never directly touched Kaido's skin, where you can make the argument that he projected Haki, or you can make the argument that Kaido suffered internal damages, where you can make the argument that he used the ornament Luffy's learning right now. There's no indication of any advanced Haki.
I mean, so that's a weird thing. So you think Oden was able to pierce Kaido's hide just off of physical strength?
Just off of physical strength. And this goes back into the thing what I was saying, that Oden's structure of strength was done the right way. And I plan to make a video on this sometime soon, where Oda developed Oden not through the concept of specialization of power, but through his base. Remember, Oden spent 4 years training physically in the stonemason.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how much stronger Luffy and Kid would be if they stand in that condition that they were in for 4 years?
Yeah, he became the lead.
He became the stonemason.
Yeah.
And people underrate that training in terms of how they interpret Oden's strength, where they're arguing, well, he doesn't have any advanced anything, but his base is insane.
Yeah,
he's been built
physically strong,
proper way. It's like you're building an amino acid. It's like you're building a protein.
Mm-hmm.
The amino acids build the foundation. So the protein is completely solid. So
Yeah.
Oden never started Haki training. He started base strength training first, which adds on to how insane he was. But again, you have to understand something. The physical constraint of Enma to where Zoro was completely drained when he first took it up. Look at Oden. Oh, Oden wheeled Enma.
It was never
He
an
had no
issue.
problem at all. And again, he got Enma when he was 4.
And what's interesting is that Zoro is one of the
It's-
physically strongest people that we know.
We know, and compare that to Oden. So again, it makes sense why he with physical strength should be able to hurt Kaido, even though he doesn't know advanced Haki. Plus, as I said before, willpower matters a lot.
That's interesting.
I know it's kind of hard to rationalize because you're assuming that based on Odo has portrayed Kaido and Luffy so far,
Yeah.
that you will need advanced Haki as a prerequisite to hurt Kaido. But that doesn't
But-
seem to be the case anymore.
I guess this is the difference when in regards to fighting styles, where
Yeah, that's a good point.
Luffy for the most
Blunt
part,
attacks.
blunt attacks, where with Zoro he's cutting.
Cutting,
right? So
exactly.
you would need a more advanced application to hurt Kaido rather than if you're Zoro or even Oden using swords.
I was about to talk about this on Twitter, but there's a scene in Fishman Island where Luffy was faced with the barriers. He was faced with some iron barriers, some iron stuff. I don't remember this. And Luffy used his headbutt with Haki on it, and he couldn't really completely smash it to pieces. He did break his head through it, but never smashed it to pieces. While Zoro, without Haki, in a Tatsumaki, could cut them up in small pieces. A lot of people kind of underestimate just how severe slicing is compared to punching. And they interpret the outcome of punching as to be weaker because, well, he never bled. But you have to understand the damage and the force that punching actually do. Like a lot of people underestimate how strong Luffy's elephant gun is because he never made Kaido bleed. But he punched an insane dragon on his back. That is not weak.
Yeah.
That is not, it just could make him bleed, but the force was there. So even though the Scabbards will manage to cut Kaido via, using different fighting styles and different Haki and all that stuff, they never really cost any force. I mean, the gravity is what really pierced Kaido down to the ground. It's that the Flamingo, it's not really the Scabbards' insane strength. And they suffered massive damage too, which is kind of ironic. It's like Shusen, he saved his own cake, but when he fell down, he
hurt himself.
He broke himself because Kinemon and them look beat up, even though they didn't take any attacks.
That's so weird, though. Isn't
Exactly, it's weird, right? Which shows you again how insanely strong Kaido is physically. Where that fall did more to them than it did to him. They're rugged, but my eyes are shut.
That is so weird, bro.
It's weird. It is weird. But again, truth to be told, they didn't really do any real damage to him. I mean,
not really. Not physically.
Not physically. And one thing again, it's kind of inconsistent with the Oda is portraying Rise of Sword. Last chapter he had 1. This chapter he had 2. Diagonally opposed to Kaido's neck. Just kind of weird. Where did he get 2 from?
Well, I'm thinking Riser can summon swords.
Summon sword.
Yeah.
So any old katana can be sharp enough to hurt Kaido.
If you have the application of Rio.
Kaido, though? Did he even hurt Kaido? Because I mean, there's no scar on Kaido's neck.
No, he didn't. It's a cool panel, but it didn't work.
The next thing as well is people are kind of generalizing who hurt Kaido by saying every scabbard hurt Kaido. That's not true. We never saw Denjiro really hurt Kaido. I mean, Kinemon and Okiko, the only one to kind of confirm. But you can look at the scars where Kaido he's beaten from 3 places. His arm, his upper pec, the one on the left, and to the side. So it could imply that Denjiro, Kinemon, and Okiko is the only one who actually caught him. Which is kind of weird, because if there's one person that you would actually ask me who would cut him, you would be 100% Ashra Doji. And he didn't do it. At least it looked like he did it. It's weird.
Ashra Doji was behind the pack, though, right? He was.
Yeah, he was behind the pack.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I thought it was gonna be the one that did the big blow, the finisher, but no. So how do you feel about Kaido's reputation when this all happened? Now, Are you one of those guys who draw a permanent conclusion from this temporary situation, where you're like, Kaido's reputation is done, or
No,
are you more objective?
I think this does nothing. It really does nothing.
I don't think it does anything as well.
I think if anything,
Let me tell you.
for people, I think people that had the Yonko miles away from admirals,
Okay, yeah, true.
right? I think they're questioning themselves now, where they're saying, "Damn, if Kinemon was able to at least hurt Kaido, then Akainu might be able to."
Okay. There's one thing to be made here, and that line of reasoning is called it's called entropy. I think it's like taking one data set and applying it to the next by saying, well, if he can do it, Emos can do it too. Okay, this is one thing I want to say. Brago. The Scabbers did something incredible, but the way people are interpreting this moment as if it's a casual attack, this is their entire life poured into one moment. Like, this is not like their will was sharpened in this one moment. We don't know if they can actually perform this feat over and over again if in an actual battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, there's a differentiation between, at least in my opinion, between Kaido's natural skin and his dragon scales. Because Luffy did reference Kaido's dragon scale as being the thing that's really hardened, even though there was mention that Kaido's skin is also tough. So in your opinion, would you agree with me that saying his dragon scale is way more hardened than his normal body?
You would that would be the deduction.
Logical thing, right?
Yeah, based on like how Luffy described it and just his physical makeup. But I would assume his skin should be just as durable as a dragon skin. I would assume that. I mean, even though Kaido likes fighting in his dragon form, I'm assuming
One more thing. People need to understand that Kaido has Haki of his own too. So even if they possess the ability to cut through Kaido's natural physical fortitude, like his skin or his scales, we have no idea how they will fare against his Haki reinforced skin or scales.
Do you think Kaido has Haki?
So this idea that Kaido's vulnerability...
You think he has Haki?
I think Kaido has Haki. He mentions Ryo, so the knowledge is certainly there.
Yeah, I think you have a knowledge of it.
So it most likely will have.
Do you think he needs it?
You think Kaido's... Well, it would be kind of... I think Haki at this point is so generalized that characters that are supposed to be knowledgeable, stand at the pack of the ability and stand at the top should know about these abilities.
Yeah, because we talk about some of these
but
things,
I wouldn't be surprised.
They should know about it, but then they should have like an idea of even the advanced application, and it's like, some people just
they should, but I think with the advanced application, Oda kind of sees it more as a overkill. But you are right though, like someone like Big Mom should stand above Katakuri in observation Haki, but that's not the case. And you wonder why?
I feel like
because maybe
Big Mom, she never. I don't think she ever really cared or needed to worry about people and where they were going to be, where they're attacking her from, because she's always been a physical monster.
An iron body?
And her iron body. So she's like, why do I need to know where people are coming from?
And just to make a parallel here, I'm assuming that Kaido's invulnerability, which we perceive to be the strongest in the verse, it being able to be pierced is kind of a confirmation that Big Mom's iron body as well, maybe with better Haki and better will force, you probably could get it done too.
In the right, the thing is, I think it's just the right situation and circumstance. For Big Mom, it can obviously be pierced, but the easier way would be to fucking bring something up with Mother Carmel, and then
again,
like I think for Kaido, if it weren't for these scabbards somewhat inheriting Oden's will and pouring it all into their blades, are they hurting Kaido? I don't think so, because it's like,
I don't think so either.
like it's maybe Shutamaru and Denjiro, but I don't even know about that.
Based on strength.
Yeah, yeah, but like this is a special circumstance. This is really just like something that was coordinated for decades, and it all led to this.
That's the reason why I point out that people are making it seem like this is a casual feat or a casual moment. Like this is something that have been the accumulation of many years of emotions that pour into it. Yeah. I don't think this feat can be replicated at any time. So many people think that it can be, but I don't know. We have to wait and see. But one thing that I want to bring up again. Something that I wanted to bring up. What was it? Oh, their blades weren't ever hardened, which makes it even more confusing.
I think, bro, I'm at the point where I think it's just fairly obvious that Oda is writing this story and he is using the anime to fill in certain things. Because I guarantee when we see them do this, their blades are going to be glowing and shit.
It should be, because I mean, it has been established. It has been established already that ornament hardening is more potent than.
But even if they're wielding Oden's Ryo, right? Like, say they're wielding Ryo or just Haki in general, we should see something indicating that, where it's not shown here. Like it's when Zoro fought Killer, right? Where it wasn't. We didn't see the exaggerated, Ryo and Haki pouring out, but in the anime they made sure to show that. So it's weird.
The anime over exaggerated a lot, but I think if you go back to chapter 937, you could see the spark of Haki.
You can see a little bit. You can see a little bit.
Yeah, but not like in the anime. No, the anime take it to a completely different level, which can lead to misinterpretations. But that's the good and the bad with the anime.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the hardening thing, or just Haki in general, is until we get, and I don't think we will ever get it. I'm talking about a detailed Togashi-like breakdown.
Never. You know why? You know why?
Why is that?
There's only one Togashi, man. Like, no one does that what Togashi does.
This is true. Because listen, the Rayleigh explanation is fine, right? But it is so surface level, right?
It is.
And I think when you think about it and what Haki is now, it's disappointing. Because Rayleigh is a Haki master, and all we got was explanations of the three types of Haki and the basic forms of what they do. Of course, as you know, in Whole Cake Island, he got into more of observation Haki and knowing people and the personality types. Etc. Bro, that would have been very useful information. Okay, how does this transfer to armament? What about conquerors? That would be something from a Haki master. That would be great. But I don't know if Luffy has some more flashbacks in the tuck that we're gonna go back to.
He does.
That's gonna tell us some more about armament, because even with Luffy learning armament here, really should have taught it to him. I know he was.
You know what's the weird thing, Brago?
What?
You know what's the weird thing? Rayleigh's first demonstration of ornament Haki was actually the advanced version. The very advanced version. Yeah, it wasn't even the first version, which is so weird.
When he pulled off the,
because Luffy's trying to do what he did to the elephant.
Yeah.
Inspiration for trying it in a prison.
I'm like, how do you show? You're showing Luffy armament Haki, a beginner, the advanced application, and you don't teach it to him.
You know what that say, Brago?
What does that say?
That says that Oda never planned to bring it this far. That was supposed to be what Haki was. The expansion only came after he realized that he needed to add in some more stuff. Yeah. It also coincides with Rayleigh using ornament Haki to take off Kami's bracelet, where that didn't even need it. I know what's the weird thing about that scene. Oda had that scene done without hardening, but he went back and retconned it with hardening, which implies that hardening was a prerequisite to do it. But no, Luffy can do it without hardening.
That means that pre-time
Which-
skip, people are using hardening without us seeing it.
No. The thing is, Brago, like the retcon made no sense because he retconned it by showing him having hardening on his hand, but Luffy used
uses it now without
on
hardening.
Yamato. You know, hardening. So what's the point of
Is that just a mistake?
Exactly. It's like it doesn't even make any sense anymore.
Yeah, maybe it's just I'm assuming that's a mistake. Like he just forgot.
It is a. I'm hoping Oda colored in. In the chapter on the volume because there have been more mistakes that were than that. Because even Oroshi's fruit, we spend hours talking about Oroshi's fruit might be different. When Oda does forget to add the swirls. Add the swirls in the volume. So yeah, more than likely gonna shade Luffy's arm in. You're gonna shade Luffy's arm, and I'm hoping he shade the scabbard swords just so it won't confuse us. I'm hoping that happens.
Asking for a lot, buddy.
I forgot this is not Togashi.
Yo, you disrespect.
I think this is gonna be very important where Kaido is, because they made a big hole in the ground which lead to the underground. Which, if you remember correctly, when Brook went to spy for the poneglyph in Orochi's castle, the poneglyph was located somewhere underground. So I'm assuming that the red poneglyph is here, and the fact that we haven't seen Brook and Frankie going to the back may stumble upon this, because we know that Brook kind of inherited the poneglyph thief persona from Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this is the avenue that Brook is going to take to go down there and see the poneglyph.
Yeah.
That's my the headcanon stuff is going on. And it's good to see Oda kind of reinforcing that Yugoro is going to lead this he's going to try to lead the scabbard, not the scabbard, the samurai.
The remnants. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's interesting that at this point, this moment, with these people, I think it could inspire a lot of people right here to kind of follow the samurai again, where it's like, oh, I did not know Momonosuke was alive. Oh, all the scabbards are really alive. Oh, they're actually attacking Kaido. Maybe we do have a chance here, you know. So I think it could be interesting to see where this goes, because all the people need was some hope, and I think they have that here.
Definitely. So many stuff that have been done that Kaido hasn't calculated that would actually backfire on him. Testing Momonosuke's will to punk him to not recognize his name was a wrong move. It not only gives the opportunity to actually reinforce himself to be who he is, but motivate the other individuals that he's going as a leader. And also him getting pierced here shows people that he's not that invincible.
Yeah, I think it's just like, you know, just
what do you think about Big Mom funny dialogue about Kaido dead or what? That is hilarious, man.
So people are saying that, is that even Big Mom speaking? I'm like, I thought it was. They're like, they don't think it's Big Mom, but I'm like you looking at
we're breaking up a bit.
Well, people are saying, do we think it's Big Mom? Are you seeing the panel?
Yeah, the panel box didn't really go to her, but I'm assuming because it's over her head.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming as well. People saying they don't think it's her. They're thinking it's people in the crowd saying that. I really thought it was her.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the dialogue, it's like,
it doesn't point to her.
Yeah.
For real, it really goes over the head. It could be. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Because it's like, okay, you know, I don't know. I don't know. It sounds like something Big Mom would say kind of sarcastically.
Yeah, it does.
But you know, it's just over her. And then you had other boxes there that are implying that people are just in the crowd just saying things, you know. So
yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with just it's probably not her, you know, just people murmur.
I don't think it's her anymore.
You see the murmur, and people just like,
murmur there. Yep.
Yeah. So people
That's
just
on about the PF murmur.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Oda full circle around the portrayal for Yugoro? You remember in the Oda prison where it was convincing the scabbards and also Luffy and company to like show themselves and take a stand and motivate the people to know who they are?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's coming full circle with him like showing off the disguise and taking front of stage, showing himself?
Higuro has always been shown that he's ready to risk his life.
I mean, yeah. And one more thing as well. Yugoro is a perfect example to show how powerful willpower is. Remember, this is the dude that was getting his ass kicked by Daifuku. Not Daifuku, but what's the guy's name? The Scorpion user, the vice warden.
Is it Hold'em? No,
It's
not
Dofugo.
Hold'em.
I
I know
remember
you're
the
talking about.
phrase.
I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about. I know you're talking
No,
about.
it wasn't Hold'em. It was the guy with the multiple legs.
Yeah,
Kicked him in the
yeah,
face.
yeah. But was it
He
him
was
getting his
getting
ass kicked
squashed by that guy.
or him
And
not
no,
even trying? You know what I mean?
we break him a bit.
But I was saying it was it more so him getting his ass kicked or him not really trying?
Yes, the willpower aspect, where at that point he thought his life was over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So like it's
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about earlier with willpower and how important that is. And now
It's very
he
important.
has a reason to fight again, you know?
Exactly. And look how stronger he got now.
Exactly.
So that's how well and done. Yamato is being pursued by Headbutt.
Headbutt. Something we're not really gonna see a lot of, but a cool fan matchup thing that people, we're two female characters that people really liked in this arc so far. They're matching up, so I don't know. It's fun. It's fun, but I don't think it's gonna lead to much.
I don't think you're gonna have any conclusive outcome
No.
where the old
This is like Oden and Pedro all over again, like
yeah.
it's
But
like
one thing for certain, do you think Oda pairing them up here and kind of making Oda like a rival for Yamato, at least in this case scenario, is like a representation that is a representation of Yamato's strength is not on that level that we thought it is, like first commander, second commander, because Ulti's a flying 6, and Yamato isn't really brushing her aside like Luffy did.
I will say this. It's a bit soon to say, right? Because Yamato she's just blocking her right now. I will say that Yamato will end up falling around Commander Caliber, but
Okay.
I don't think it's crazy to think some Flying 6 members may have some overlap, and I think the only one that I would comfortably say can compete with the Calamities would be Who's Who. I mean, X Drake is an outlier in his own right.
I'd agree.
But even if Yamato is stronger, right? This is a moment in which Oda uses kind of like a stalling technique, right? Where it's like, I'm just trying to keep Yamato and Ulti occupied for a while, and then because of course other things are going to transpire, and then also I think for Luffy's moment as well, I don't know the future there for Ulti and Yamato, if that's gonna be the constant matchup, because Yamato has, based on what she's done, has some significant hype, right? But knowing Oda and how these things fall, I don't know. Do you think Yamato's gonna join the crew?
I spoke about this last time, that Yamato joining the crew poses one big issue. One Piece is driven by mystery, and we live and experience things through Luffy's gaze. Yamato, even though she might not acknowledge the knowledge that she knows right now, she's a walking spoiler due to her being exposed to Oden's journal. And things won't be mysterious if Luffy and her come in any contact or any talk about the One Piece, because she should know. She should have an idea around what the One Piece is. I don't think you can fit that into the story in terms of her being her own Luffy. And that and Oda have already showed some evidence of like having characters who should know certain stuff deliberately goes out of his way not to have them communicate this stuff to Luffy because it might spoil the story. Like, for instance, Robin knowing about Sabo.
Yeah.
So if Oda is gonna put her into the story, she might have to get an amnesia like Big Mom.
Or Oda can have it where Oden just wrote things about his experiences and not really. He doesn't go in depth because Oden. Let's be honest. He doesn't seem like the individual to document every single thing on his journey. I think Oden would be the type of person to talk about things that he enjoyed, right? Like if he goes to Skypiea, instead of talking about a poneglyph, Oden would talk about, we saw like, people with wings or something, right? Like Oden would talk about instead of the pertinent things that would contribute to the history of the world, he's going to talk about things that basically enhance his experience. Because remember when he first got to certain places, the simple things were exciting him. Like he was like, "What? They have this, right?" So I think for Oden, with it being his journal, we're assuming he's documenting things the way Nami would or Robin would, where it's very detailed and breaking down everything. Where I don't think Oden's that type of person at all.
That's a fair point. The issue that I have with that is that even if it's not into the detail to what the One Piece is, just a mere question from Usopp to really spark Luffy to freak out. Even if it doesn't detail what One Piece is, just the idea that Oden actually saw the One Piece and could document things surrounding the One Piece, I think Luffy wouldn't even want to know about that either.
That's fair.
I don't think Luffy want anything to know about anything regarding the One Piece.
You don't think really slipped up one time when they were working out?
Remember, Luffy's drive to find the One Piece is whether or not the sacrifice is worth it, yes or no. He doesn't care if it exists. It's just the perception of it existing. Serve as
it's an idea. It's an idealistic view of like what the power
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Do you watch Avatar? Did you watch Avatar before that? Avatar Last Airbender?
Yeah.
When Zuko, the Fire Lord's son, got exiled.
Spoiler alert.
It's been over for like 15 years. Avatar existence wasn't even confirmed when he sailed out to find the Avatar.
No.
But Ozai, because Ozai banished him and he wanted to prove his name, the Avatar started to become not even a symbol of something that he wants to actually capture. It became a symbol of hope in regaining his honor back to his dad.
Right.
And even though the end goal wasn't to actually become strong and all that, just the idea that the Avatar exists represents hope of him improving. And that's what the One Piece is for Luffy. Luffy has no idea the One Piece is actually real or not. He wasn't even around to even hear Whitebeard's speech about the One Piece being real. That's how far Oda went to silence him, not even knowing that the One Piece has been confirmed by a man of that stature. For Luffy, it represents, again, as you said, an ideological aspiration. I don't think Oda want Luffy to be surrounded by any knowledge about the One Piece. Even the fact that even if in the journal it says that Roger laughed, which could imply that the One Piece does have some form of written component to it, Luffy wouldn't even know that too. He wouldn't even want to know that. So Yamato is very dangerous in that sense. But apart from that, she does have the personality, the strength, the lineage to actually join the crew. I would agree on that part. And the gag too, because she's pretty, yeah.
Yeah, she's funny. I like Yamato.
She's funny.
I like Ulti a little more, but I like Yamato.
I don't see what you guys see in Ulti. I don't.
She's a woman of action.
Okay, and that's kind of lacking in One Piece. So she's like a bad apple amongst evil, even worse apples. So
yeah.
I get it.
I enjoy that.
But she had a big declaration here, which was very important to get out of the way quickly from Oda. So no, I love this because again, the possibility of Yamato pulling a Denjiro where she uses her former affiliations with the base pirates to manipulate them. She outright just said, "I'm not on your side," which in my opinion is great because it centers around what we want it to be centered around, and a fight where each opponent knows each other that they're opponents. So Yamato is just completely letting me know, like, I'm not on my father's side. I don't care about him. Whatever. So that means that she's a full out traitor, you could say.
Yeah, I would like to have seen. I'm sure we're gonna get some of Kaido's backstory at some point, but I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
like
yeah.
to see their relationship as she was growing up. You know, was it
I
like?
think it was an abusive one.
Yeah, she said he beat her when he didn't agree with the things she was doing, but like he's still trying to make her, you know,
Yeah.
the head of Wano or Onigashima, and it's like what is you guys' relationship, man? Like, do you understand like that she doesn't like you? But maybe Kaido as a father, you don't ever give up on your kid, so it's like, yeah, she'll come around eventually, you know, that
I
type of
think
thing.
what Kaido is probably thinking is this. Yamato's aspiration to be Oden isn't something driven naturally. It's more of a nature. It's more so of a nurture thing where she experienced Oden. So Kaido is probably saying if she can learn this behavior, it can be unlearned. So Kaido's probably giving her time. 'Cause remember, prior to her seeing Oden being executed, she never had this aspiration to mimic him. So probably Kaido remember her from back then. I remember how she idolizes him, and probably is giving her time to unlearn this idea of Odin.
Yeah,
That's kind of the best way I can possibly rationalize why we want to keep someone who clearly makes it known that they don't like him.
I don't want to have anything to do with you. It's almost like a you know a kid that they have their parents have goals for them and they're like, I don't want to do that, I just want to do my own thing, I want to be a
Yes,
fashion designer. It's like, no, you're going to continue the lineage of doctors
the doctor.
for our family. And
The entire
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and then, you know, like you'll come around eventually, you know, but I think
Exactly.
I think for Yamato,
It'll be somewhat of an analogy to Silva and Killua, where Killua's desire to find a friend and stop killing is strong, but because Silva knows that he's his son, he will come around someday.
that's the thing. It's like sometimes
That's the whole.
you can't escape your nature. Well, in Hunter x Hunter, you
Yep,
you can't escape that. Like for Jing, he knew Gon was gonna come find him.
of course.
He knew it
I
because
mean, he left science.
he's a hunter, right? That's a part
Yep.
of him. So I don't know. I don't know how much that is conveyed in One Piece, where it's like your nature is what it
Overrides
is,
the nurture.
right? Because there are instances in which like with Dragon and Luffy, right, where
Hmm.
the will of D is strong, where it seems like these people they're just destined to be free or just to cause a storm. But outside of that particular thing, what instances do we have in regards to kids and parents and them just, you know, succumbing to their nature? I mean, I think for the most part they try to paint humans that way, right? Where no matter what, humans are gonna be humans. Like from the fishman's perspective, like how Hody Jones saw it, right? It's like that's just how humans are, you know. So we don't expect much from them. But I don't know, like in, for instance, Hunter x Hunter, if it's if something like that happens in One Piece, like I can't think of a scenario where, you know, the nature of someone, it just overrides it. Because even in Whole Cake Island, you know, they say we don't know Katakuri's father or whatever, but Katakuri is nothing like Big Mom. You know,
Well, the glutton thing, he does keep
the gluttony, yeah, yeah,
uh,
that's a part of it. But then I was thinking about something as well with Katakuri's observation Haki, and why he
yeah.
trained it. It's like I feel like Oda would say this is a joke, why he trained it so much, but it's for him to detect people so that no one could see him when he's eating his donuts. That's
You
a,
know that Oda did kind of mess up with Katakuri where someone in the SBS caught Oda and asked him at the tea party Katakuri was eating and you could clearly see that he took a bite of the donut. So Oda explained it by saying that
he's really
it's
fast,
not
right?
that Katakuri doesn't eat in public, is that he just fast to
Really
eat and
fast,
people not
yeah,
see his mouth.
yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of Oda's explanation for it. He just that fast.
yeah,
Which of course is kind of bullshit, but
yeah.
but
I mean, but all the people I guess the people that could actually see, they're the ones that they know about Katakuri's face anyway.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. I mean,
oh
Perospero
man,
and those guys.
I would. Like, how would you feel about a Whole Cake Island OVA?
Um,
I, I, how would you feel about a Whole Cake Island OVA? How would you feel about a Whole Cake Island OVA? I would like. How would you feel about a Whole Cake Island OVA? I would like. How would you feel about a
um,
Whole Cake Island OVA? or
That would be
category
cool
OVA.
if it's.
I should say category.
That was what I was gonna say. I would say if it's on category.
Yeah. A category OVA, not Whole Cake Island. Just showing his life.
I mean, it would be cool, but I wanted to center it around the time period where he was around rocks. So I think that was a big motivating factor for him.
I would also like to show him leaving Whole Cake Island too, like him venturing out, because remember he wasn't there for a while.
No, there's no real evidence that he really left. He just wasn't at the Whole Cake Island chateau. It wasn't really at the main island, but he could have been on it. He could
have been on his own island. That's true. But I would like some exposition on that in regards to him leaving. Maybe he runs into another commander or something. You know, just showing. I don't know. I like when One Piece makes the world feel like real. You know, scenarios that we don't expect. Like random scenarios that don't really contribute to the plot in any way or the narrative. It's just like this just happened. It's a side thing. It's not that big of a deal, but this happened. You know, I like when moments like that happen.
That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. It would confirm that right hand man don't louch around. They actually go there and get shit done.
Yeah, it would.
But when you think about it, it would be kind of an overkill to send category to do most tasks outside of Oki Island because. Not really that much to really take care of. But when you look at it, Peckham and what's the guy's name? It wasn't Mondor. It was Tamago. Went to Fishman Island. Katakura went there. We wouldn't even be here in the series.
It'll be yeah.
He just killed everyone.
Like, you know what would have been dope, bro? If like something was introduced like the Hokage Summit.
Oh, okay, that would be great. But their personality doesn't match up.
Nah, that's they're pirates, but like if he had the Yonko, they meet from time to time, but they meet with their right hands. Like Big Mom and Cat.
That would be great.
Kaido and King. You had Whitebeard and Marco, and then Shanks and Benny. That'd be dope, man.
That would be that would be very interesting. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. That would be crazy. I like that idea a lot. That would actually be good. So do you want to talk about Kaido's prediction about pirates and their nature, which kind of ties back into what you're saying about nature? You know, people can't escape what destiny having for them. So
about pirates,
Kaido is. This entire speech about Orochi's hallucination and it being real.
Okay.
Kazo just Rosa.
Okay.
I want to talk about something that I kind of hate about this speech. I'm not sure if it's in the speech in the Raws, but it's been translated here in a way that I absolutely hate it. Go ahead.
Now, what do you hate? I'm interested in this.
So Kaido credits everything to the man that he's been having his eyes on, cast by the very man I've had my eyes on, Straw Hat. I don't have an issue with Oda crediting Luffy, but I do have an issue when Luffy getting credit just opposed against what other characters are supposed to get. Luffy isn't the one that made the scabbards be in this very moment. It was done by him and several other people. So if Kaido were to say cast by the very group of people that I have my eyes on, the Samurai Mengs Alliance, that would feel more exclusive to credit the people that should get credit, like for instance Law, Zoro, Sanji, guys like those. And I hate when Oda singlets out Luffy and the official says Straw Hat, but I'm hearing that the Raws actually said the Straw Hats, which again, it still isn't really that inclusive because, truth to be told, the Scabbards plan was really Law's plan.
Here's the thing. I know people talk about this, and this goes back to One Piece sometimes not evolving, where we get it. Right? We get
Luffy story.
We get it. We absolutely get it.
Get it.
You can give the Scabbard some credit. You can give Law some credit. You can give Zoro some credit.
Of course.
You can
exactly.
It doesn't always have to be Luffy.
Luffy. Yep.
It just like I read it and I was like, oh, okay.
Like, I read it too and I rolled my eye.
I get it.
If you did say Straw Hat, would still be wrong.
I get it. It's Luffy's story. Luffy's the one that's kind of spearheading everything. But these guys did, bro. All these people, they had so many different journeys to end up at this spot right now. Every single one.
Yep.
Every single person. From Kiku to Kinemon to Kamatsu, Ashradoji, what's his name? Nekamushi, Inarashi, all these people, even Izo, they had their own journeys, and this got them back to where they are right now. And you're saying, the man I've had my own straw hat?
Exactly.
Like,
not only that.
Yeah.
And not only that, the way it's been phrased is kind of synonymous with what Shank said about Whitebeard and Blackbeard, where Blackbeard hid behind Whitebeard's shadow for protection. Kaido is kind of saying that hide behind Luffy's shadow. I mean, is that really true?
He's somewhat saying that he was distracted by Straw Hat and he wasn't focused on what was really going on. But Luffy just got there, bro.
That's not true. I mean, Kaido did single out Straw Hat, Law, and Kid as 3-person. Yeah. So
my thing is it's like cast by the very man I've. But okay, wait. Let's look at it this way. He's saying, oddly enough, you have been hiding in the shadow, cast by the very man I've had my eye on, Straw Hat, which is weird because, again, Luffy just got there,
and he has interacted with Kid long before Luffy. And even
and the Roach has been talking about this for a while. Like, this wasn't. They've been They haven't been hiding in the shadow of Straw Hat. They've been.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, the story itself contradicts the old dialogue.
That's a weird one. That's a weird one.
We're accusing Stefan for being a Luffy fanboy, and he also makes a very, very, very bad translation error. I mean, in the next sentence by Kinemon, where Kinemon calls daybreak instead of saying dawn, which everyone would know that it's supposed to be dawn. But he says daybreak, which loses the meaning of what Toki was trying to convey to the audience and also the people in Wano. So I think Stefan kind of dropped the ball here with that by saying daybreak. He's just so out of place. Daybreak will come to Wano. Shouldn't it be the dawn?
That's what I'm thinking, but I would never tweet that.
I get canceled.
It's not even about cancel. It's like the Viz translations, more often than not, they hit.
Of course,
right?
I mean, it's better chance than anything else,
right? So that's why, and I feel like I'm not gonna go out there and just like call them out off of this one thing I don't like, because I feel like in today's society, it's too much of that, where somebody would give you quality for
a long period of time, and then the one time is something you don't like. Oh my God, this dude, this is, and then I think what I don't like as well is when people use opportunities in which somebody is at their lowest point, and then it's like, I never liked him anyway, or he was never that good anyway, and people I know what you mean.
And people do that a lot nowadays, where it's like, oh wait, so all those times everything was okay, but you never liked him, so you telling me that you were being phony this entire time about this person? I just don't like that. Like, don't.
I think people just can't find a middle ground to critique and also praise at the exact same time.
Right.
Most people can't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So for here, I'll say that more than likely should have been Dawn, but he is still amazing.
Of course, he changed so much about One Piece compared to where it was pre-time skip in translation.
Yes,
pre-time skip One Piece translation is not even credible in my opinion. It is awful.
It's bad. So that's why, like, now where it is, I'm just like, hey man, this, I don't know what this was, but I appreciate the viz every week.
I do. And the next thing kind of pisses me off too is Kaido's speech about Luffy. He beat Luffy into, and the key word here is submission. I mean, God, was Luffy ever submissive?
So I remember after I saw that, I went and I did some research on to beat someone into submission, like dead ass. I went down a rabbit hole but I didn't really touch on it too much, because I feel like sometimes in the One Piece community, especially on BDA Law, people don't like when you point out
flaws.
And when I say flaws, I'm not talking about like obvious flaws. I'm talking about like things that once you go back and you're reading and you're dissecting and you're comparing, people don't like that as much because like, oh my god, you're just nitpicking, right? And
Okay, so you,
yeah, and I feel like sometimes it's like, what's the point? Like, if my audience doesn't care about it, what's the point of doing it? I think it's more, I would say, accepted on Brago DAs because that's kind of what we've cultivated, where we go in depth in regards to every single thing about the chapter, even the good and the bad. But like, I went down, I was like, yo, beaten into submission, and I was like, I understand what they're trying to say, meaning, okay, because when I looked at it, it's basically just beating somebody up. But I think the submission part could be used as like, okay, you beat them to a point where they were submissive and they gave up, you know. And but the thing is, Luffy, that's not Luffy. Luffy never did that. You just knocked him out, you know. So it's like,
and the issue with
go ahead.
the issue that I have with the word submission, of course, you know, I'm a very individual that's centered around gender politics and all that. You know, men dominate, women more submissive. Submission kind of means that somebody ready to conform, and in this case, it will be Luffy ready to join Kaido's crew. And at no point was that even on Luffy's mind. Yeah. Kaido's own words when he knocked Luffy down was that he's glaring at me. Is that some bravado or him just trying to be tough? At what point was Luffy ever beat into submission? He lost a fight, but you never even landed damage on his spirit.
Luffy would never ever be beaten into submission.
Never. Ever. Even Kid. I mean, Hawkins said a Kid would die. and that prediction was probably right because Kid would probably die.
Yeah. Yeah. Kid, like these people, so, Luffy, Kid, they're people that are just built differently, right? Where no matter what, they would rather die than to submit to another individual, right? That's not how they operate. They don't care what it is. I mean, I'll work with you, right? But I am not going to submit to you. What? Like, so for Luffy, Kid, some of those people, like, no, Luffy will never be beaten in a submission. Luffy would rather die. All right, he'd rather die.
Kinemon didn't even try to argue against that statement. The statement that follows doesn't even what can I say, directly tackle the submissive thing. Because the best thing would be to say is that Luffy's not like you guys. He will never back down, or he will never do anything wrong, or he will never do, you know, he will never submit like you guys. Yeah. But Kinemon is going on to basically say Luffy's going to become the Pirate King. And that's all.
I was saying in my review that Kinemon sounded like
he kind of foreshadowed his own death with saying, if ever last one of us die.
Yeah, he sounded like a Straw Hat, man. Kinemon, you sound like a Straw Hat.
So like a Straw Hat.
That's what.
Well, he's been around them for a very long time.
That's exactly. It's so, like this is something that
he will be the king of the pirates.
Yeah, yeah.
But Oda did a pretty good. Oda did a pretty good job in terms of how he structured the dialogue. Because the dialogue that followed after is basically Big Mom kind of trying to reaffirm what Kaido is saying, by basically sarcastically asking Luffy if he think he can actually beat Big Mom, if you think he can actually beat Kaido.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming that Big Mom knows that he lost at first. So it's like, don't tell me jokes about you beating Kaido, which comes after Kaido saying I beat him once.
Yeah.
And we're waiting to see
Big
what
Mom
Luffy's
laughed
answer
at him.
would be. Spirit broken. Yeah, she laughed at him like, is his spirit broken? Does he think he can actually win against Kaido? And he had a badass line. He basically said, not just Kaido, you, the officers, Orochi's followers.
Yeah.
I'm going to whoop every single one of you.
And I like how they showed like the alliance as well with Zoro, Kid, Killer, just showing everybody that's, you know, going to take part in this. I really like that. And Law and listen, that entire panel is fucking dope. That's something we can really talk about.
Which one? Would the alliance come together?
I would say unseen alliances or unexpected alliances where Pedro's working with Marco, not Pedro, Perospero. He's with
Yeah,
Marco.
which is a very that's I'm gonna say
I understand. It's a weird thing, especially after what Perospero said.
weird. That is like the most logical thing to do.
No, what I'm saying, well, people were saying he just said, I will never forgive Marco and Luffy and those guys. But my thing is like,
Okay,
Perospero can't beat Marco, right? I don't think he can.
no,
Personally.
you don't gotta even try to
Right?
convince me that
Right?
he can't.
Perospero,
Especially in water.
he cares about the Big Mom pirates more than anything. He doesn't give a fuck about the Beast pirates. All he cares about is sabotaging this alliance. What's a greater sabotage than for a Beast pirate to see the eldest son of Big Mom with one of the top members of the alliance?
Yep. That person probably could be king, and that
Could be king.
definitely strike a riff. Yeah, that definitely strike a riff. What I'm gonna try to say is that Albert Einstein said this: genius is knowing what's important. Perospero knows what's important.
Yeah.
Okay, I hate Straw Hat.
Yeah.
I don't like Kaido. But the Big Mom Pirates is very, 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 very important. And this threatens the entire organization as a whole if we participate in this fight and our leader dies.
Yeah.
Or something happens. So he's basically prioritizing the Big Mom Pirates as a whole over anything else. Even Straw Hat, that he said that was supposed to be his first task, to kill Straw Hat. So he's prioritizing what's important, which again is genius. And Marco leveraging that, understanding that even if Perospero were to switch on us, it could still help us take out certain beast pirates before we target the Big Mom Pirates.
Yeah.
Which again is genius. Like, this is the best outcome Oda could possibly have come up with.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always felt like for Perospero, I think his goal will be to sabotage the beast pirates. But it's like, what would be the point of him fighting Marco here? It's like, well,
exactly.
You gain nothing, especially if you lose.
Nothing.
And then if Marco goes and he takes out Perospero, what was the entire point of that dialogue for Perospero?
I want to bring this Perospero that up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was always for me like, it's either not Perospero or they're going to work together. It was never going to be a fight because it serves nothing. It serves no purpose.
Nothing. Exactly. It does not advance the story at all.
At all.
There'd have to be some sacrifice.
For sure.
And I'm glad Oda thought of this because, again, this is genius.
Absolutely.
Again, the fact that Oda didn't just randomly went from -1 to -5 with Perospero regarding his ideology about the Big Mom Pirates and his perception about the alliance, there have been hints sprinkled all over that Perospero isn't in agreement with this alliance at all. So it's not like he just randomly just joined Marco for this purpose. No, he's been saying this for a good while, that, hey, this alliance, I do not trust it. And you can also call it something basically like a sixth sense. Like he kind of sensed that something is not like Whitebeard, knowing that Blackbeard going after Ace was gonna be like life changing. I think Perospero kind of have that sixth sense where he knows that best to get the fuck out of here. So let's see how far their alliance goes. But for those who say Marco would probably not be that influential here, no, he's already making his presence felt by doing one of the most insane things.
Yeah, Marco.
No, the bigger
is somebody that he's a game changer, just based off of not only his presence, but he has a lot of experience, man. I'm sure for Marco, when he pulled up on Perospero, I'm sure he knew who he was, but he's like, okay, what are you trying to accomplish here?
Of course.
Because some personalities are like, oh, it's on sight. I don't care who you are. If you're not part of the alliance, I'm going after you. Right?
I mean, king and all.
You see what I'm saying? For Marco, it's like, I'm sure Marco went in there on some, okay, what purpose are you trying to serve? You know, and then Perospero was just like, hey, I don't care about the Beast Pirates. That's my goal. I'm not here for the alliance, whatever. The Straw Hats, I'm past that. I care more about this alliance, right? And our longevity, because we're already seeing it in the story.
Mhm.
At this point, Big Mom is working for Kaido,
Well, technically, yeah.
right? And I'm sure for Perospero, that's like, what? We the Big Mom pirates. We don't need that. You know, so
Just to get a bit deep into this, Brago. Perospero time being on the ship and seeing how ineffective and useless they are without leadership from Big Mom, that serves as like somewhat of a future focused vision for him to see what the Big Mom pirates would be like without Big Mom, which you could argue motivate him even more to try to get her out of here. Because he sees how useless they are without her in the category. And
nah, that's true.
one more thing as well. For those who are gonna say that Perospero is an enemy because he caused Pedro death, that scenario is very unique. Because again, Perospero didn't trigger Pedro to blow himself up. That idea of this being his last voyage was something that Pedro had on his mind for a very long time.
Right.
So you can't really credit Perospero for Pedro's death, where you could argue that revenge might be needed from character Sanji. No. So I don't think they should have any issue with Perospero joining them, because again, Pedro died by his own accord. He wasn't forced into blowing himself up.
He was trying to do that the entire time. Wasn't he gonna do that before? Then somebody stopped him.
I think he was gonna do it, and then they dragged him to the mirror. Yeah, I think the Jimbo dragged him to the mirror. So for those who are arguing the idea about revenge, this is a very unique scenario. Perospero isn't directly responsible for Pedro's decision to kill himself. He shouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah, man. Like Perospero.
So
Pedro wanted to do that for a while.
There should be no problem with Luffy, understanding the scenario. And with Marco there to convince him, trust me, Perospero is going to be a devastated individual.
The only thing is, like, Perospero, I'm sure, is noted. He knows about the disrespect on the side of the Big Mom Pirates based off the report by Big News Morgans. So,
oh yes.
So yeah. But I think for him, outside of that, he cares more. It's like he views the Beast Pirates as more of a threat to their legacy than the Straw Hats at this point.
That's a good point.
Like, so for him, if right now it looks like an alliance, but he could see it transforming to the Beast Pirates being in control. Like, say in this alliance, right? At some point, you have to divvy up responsibilities, right? Yes. Are they going to be working together? Would Perospero be under a Beast Pirate? You know what I mean? Which is more,
oh God,
which probably would happen. So it's like he's like, nah, man. Yeah. He doesn't want that.
I know what could actually add fuel to the fire, Brago.
Stop.
If somebody were to ask Perospero how he got here, and Perospero said, I climbed the waterfall and get here, and they said, well, that was pretty useless. We had a port. Perospero is like, what did you tell me about this port? That could be interpreted as Perospero, seeing the alliance, seeing Kaido's side not being very truthful in terms of their access ports and how they can actually get into Wano country, and interpret that as evidence that they're not really in cahoots with them.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty hilarious if Perospero were to know that there's actually a port and like, what did you tell us this? And interpret that as them keeping secrets.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which would be more evidence that this alliance is not genuine.
I'm just saying.
So
man.
Oda could go that route. But what do you feel about Kinemon and the idea of him telling Luffy much appreciated, and then Luffy saying, I'll catch up later to you? Is that the greatest foreshadowing that Luffy might never even see this man ever again?
Or when he sees him again, he dies, something like that.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Because again, that was so random. Sir Luffy, much appreciated. And
yeah,
again,
it's like
it's very random. And again, you know what pisses me off?
What's that?
I hate when people don't get recognition for what they do. Kinemon is in clear view of everyone right now. You're telling me that you didn't even say thanks, Law? Did you forget that Law is the reason why you're even here?
It's not Law's story.
It is stuff like this that gives people the interpretation that things are smaller than what they're supposed to be, even though we know the story wouldn't be possible without certain actions. what Law did for the scabbards eliminated so much fighting, so much chaos, so much exhaustion, and so much confusion. Like how the scabbards are made to attack Kaido unannounced without Law's fruit, his submarine, his intuition, his intellectual property,
Yeah.
but yet still much appreciated Sir Luffy.
I things like that don't really bother me anymore, man.
It bothers me, man.
It don't bother me. It
bothers
doesn't,
me.
bro. I think after Luffy versus Cat, it's like
Yeah,
it's Luffy's
Luffy's
story.
man.
That's it. That's
It
it.
is.
That's all I can say, man. It's Luffy's story.
And stuff like what Law did goes under the rug so often, even though it's so important.
Well, I think that's just I feel like that's sometimes can be seen in real life, right? Where the people that should really get a lot of recognition and credit, they don't, because they're normally the ones behind the scenes doing some of the more important things. But you know, the people in the forefront, yes, the people that do the flashy things in the forefront, those are the people that kind of get like, you know, all the credit and stuff. So I think that's what's happening here.
Yep. Like who else in the world could get 7 people that are wanted by a Yonko to infiltrate one of the most top secure place in the world without having to fight a single battle? Like Kinemon fought no one prior to actually meeting Kaido. Neither did Ashura Doji or anyone on that submarine.
Yeah.
Not only was that Law's plan to split up and do the pincer attack, it was Law's submarine who evaded the wind, the temperature,
And
the weather,
and Law brought
then
them on to the island.
exactly the rear. Again, who else could you found that can actually give you a one-on-one chance to not only evade security but still maintain your disguises? Oh God, that is insane by Law. And again, Law made that plan on the fly.
Yeah.
And he also incorporated Luffy and Kid's personality in that plan by saying they're going to be the distraction.
Yeah.
John, no, man. If Law had a good crew, we would see a race. We would see a race after. Trust me.
Listen,
we would see a race.
Do you think that's Hawkins with Law?
A race that we'll never believe. I think that's Hawkins, yeah. And it also goes along with what I've been doing so far in Wano Country, where we love to show important people from the back. Remember Drake?
Yeah. Yeah, people say, yo, it's
Drake
heat. It's heat.
Kind of older style, like.
People say it's heat from Kid's crew. I'm like, why the
saying
fuck?
What?
They're saying it's heat.
No, why would no? Because he would have one of disguise, the Beastfire disguise. It wouldn't have. It is it is Hawkins, and the reason why I think it's Hawkins is it's because of, well, first of all, Law would more than likely manipulate Hawkins by using his heart to move him around.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, people seem to forget Hawkins kind of hinted that he has a means to power people up, which again, it depends on how you interpret that the dialogue from chapter 913. Whether he was saying that his own power is getting stronger via the card, or he has a card to power up one's own strength. So Oda can spin it either way. So having Hawkins here could be a power up for Luffy or whoever Oda wants to give it to. So yeah, I think it's Hawkins. And
same.
Law once again being very useful because he's bringing one of the stronger members on the alliance, and he can also manipulate Hawkins based on I'm taking his heart.
Absolutely.
And again, those are two geniuses that are going to be scheming. So, damn, the strategy is going to be crazy.
It's going to be top tier. Let me tell you. Is there anything else?
It's going to be top tier.
The final panel.
Kaido pulling a Miriam on Kaido pulling a Miriam Netero. Yeah, just having him jump on the dragon and just like carry him to where he wants to fight them. It's kind of what Netero Miriam allowed Netero to do.
Did Zeno was Zeno's dragon?
Right? It was Zeno's dragon, but Miriam kind of agreed to, relocate. And with Kaido here, like he has no qualms to them jumping on him.
Nah, it's actually a dope moment. I like it a lot. It's kind of just showing some respect, Just showing some respect to them.
He
He's
does.
like, you know
Yeah.
what? All right, cool. You guys, you've gotten this far. I'll show you. I'll just show you what you got to deal with. It's fine. Let's do it.
He does. A lot of people are using the dialogue Kaido said, but I think I've sobered up to kind of justify why I got hit. Stop it. I mean, please stop it.
What? What do you mean?
Like, people are saying that Kaido is no sober, which implies that he's at a different level of strength. And if he was sober before, then the Scabbers wouldn't have been able to cut him.
The same thing is happening. I don't know. Like, why do you think that him not being sober? I don't.
Well, a lot of people interpret it from the first fight with Luffy, where Kaido kind of got serious when he got sober and one shot him. But I'm saying, like, well,
I understand
even
that,
matter that much.
right? But I still think he's getting hurt. I still think the same things are happening even if he wasn't sober.
Even if he was, yeah, exactly. I agree.
Even if he
One
was
thing
sober,
for
that's just.
sure. Whoa, Onigashima is huge.
Oh, it's a big place.
Yo, it is a huge place. Kaido from the outward, looking in on the top of the dome. Like, that's a huge space to fight.
Yeah, he's and Kaido's a big. Kaido's huge.
Yeah, and do you think that's where when Big Mom was fighting in chapter 951, I believe?
Maybe it seems like they were in the lower levels, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, because they said they were shaking.
Yeah. I don't know, but maybe. I mean, that would be a place for them to fight, though. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I wonder. But sometimes I was thinking about with Big Mom and Kaido. Like, do you think that fight made him realize, like, yo, I'm not gonna beat this guy. I'm not gonna beat this person, man. Like, it's not. It's better to ally with this person than to try to beat them.
Well, Big Mom and Kaido situation is a bit weird because they don't really necessarily ally in terms of the alliance being something that is long lasting. The alliance have an expiration date, and the expiration date is when they find One Piece. They're gonna fight over it, but they're gonna take the journey together to get it. So it's like it's not a monopoly, it's more of an oligopoly where they come together, defeat their enemies, then just clash each other to see who deserve it more.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of smart. It's kind of smart to be.
I mean, well, here's the thing. It is smart, right? But say Luffy and Law did that. Law's like, yo, Luffy, I'll be allies with you until we find the One Piece. Then, at that point we can kind of do it. Law's so smart. Law would probably have something in place to betray them before they actually get there. Like, soon as everything, right? So for Kaido and Big Mom, yes, those two brutes, they agree. This is the plan, whatever. Do you think every single crew member feels the same way? Obviously not, right? Nope. So even if this alliance went on, there would consistently be people within both factions trying to sabotage or get one up. Because at the end of the day, these are two superior crews who feel like they should be on top. So if you try to make it an alliance, every situation in which it should be maybe discussed and probably talked about, say King makes the decision and Katakuri doesn't know about it, and Katakuri's like, that's something you should have talked about. He's like, yeah, I just felt like I could make that decision. That could start something right there. You know what I mean? Because these two people, you're gonna have to have a hierarchy. Like, it's an alliance, but at the end of the day, if you're gonna be functioning as one crew, it's gonna be in hierarchy. And for Kaido, how he's been operating so far, it seems like he's the one that's in control. He's the top dog. So we're not gonna see it play out, but if it did, it'll cause so much issues.
I spoke about this before that sometimes theory and practical sense that Kaido and Big Mom should have the strongest army, but in practice, them working together is almost impossible. And they could even be a more damage to themselves than even external forces. Do you know that most gangs got destroyed internally than actually externally? Like, it's not even the police who kill most gang members, it's themselves.
Yeah.
They take each other out because they're so greedy for power that they can't even accept the fact that each one might have an advantage over the other. So maybe it's for the best that Katakuri isn't here.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Cat things would be a lot different. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's good that right now, he's not here because I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Katakuri being in Wano, shit would be it would be kind of crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it would be crazy. It would be crazy. He would oppose so much decisions and do so much things different.
Yeah.
It'd have been crazy. It'd have been crazy. So what do you think? What do you think about Oda pretty much already introducing the Sulong forms? Do you think that's an acknowledgement that the Scabbards, most importantly Nekomamushi, Inuarashi, won't really be that long lasting in the arc? Because if you know most shonen jump structure by now, the characters who are mostly overconfident and play their hand first typically ends up the loser when the opponent finally reveals their trump card. So do you think this is kind of like a way to give them a couple hits in, then Kaido reveal his strength and just completely smash them?
It's a showcase. It's about to be a showcase where early,
Yeah,
they're gonna go ham in their Sulong forms, right? Because Oda's been hyping up the Sulong forms. He has to show it, right? But after all that they're gonna do, it will have no impact on Kaido. Because I think we could probably see a glimpse of Kaido's hybrid form, right?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be the entire match.
Right. So if Kaido goes to that, oh boy. And I think listen, I'm always on the side that the Yonko and the Admirals are not far apart. But there are people that are super low on the Yonko right now. Where it's like, oh my God, Big Mom has this, Kaido has this. I'm like, bro, everybody has something. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's just invincible, right? I feel like even with Roger and Whitebeard, Oda has shown, even as strong as these monsters are, they succumb to like ailments and sickness, right? So I think
fitness.
I think that's something that's going to be prevalent in One Piece. That like, as strong as these people are, there's always going to be something about them that you can take advantage of. We don't know what that is for everybody, but these people are not gods. Nobody in One Piece is that. So it is what it is. Yeah, bro. Like it's not that big a deal when these people, what they've been built up to be, it gets kind of shattered, because at the end of the day, we know that they're not fucking invincible. They're not. I mean, Kaido was built up as this fucking overwhelming force, but Oda did say, well, people say, you know, that's what you know,
important dialogue.
It's very important. You're saying that people were saying this about Kaido, and I've always maintained, well, who are these people? Because are these people
fodder?
Right, because if fodder go against Kaido, of course, be like, yo, this dude, he is immortal. Nobody can kill him, right? Like, that's where, like, when people see Whitebeard and the power that Whitebeard, the shit that Whitebeard can do, of course you're gonna think that's the strongest man in the world. He's fucking sending earthquakes, just casually. Yes, that's the thing where One Piece, a lot of it is hype and just reputation and perception and perspective. Like a lot of, but until you meet these people. Even for Luffy, right? Remember the expectation of Luffy when the post time skip, when they were like, "Oh, I expect him to be this. I expect him to be this." Like they didn't expect Luffy to be a fucking short ass kid with that personality. And then sometimes remember how Oda draws, like how people view the Straw Hats or even other characters, where it's like it's just this menacing look, when it's like the Straw Hats are not like that at all. The save Zoro, you know, it's just like it's, and I think that's the beauty of it. Like we're constantly just in a place of just shock and amazement, because these things, for the most part, they're unpredictable. You know, so but that's the reason why we keep reading. That's the reason why we love it. I have no idea what's gonna happen next, but I'm assuming Kaido's about to whoop their ass. I don't know. I really don't know.
I think he's gonna whoop their ass, but I think it's gonna go pretty much the shonen structure, where the characters that transform get their 1 or 2 hits in, then the individual responds by showing them their true power or upgraded version of their power, and then they equalize that and dominate, and then Kaido might suffer a couple injuries that opens up the possibility of Luffy, Kid, Law, if you want to choose Zoro in there, fine, to come and finish them off. But I think that's what's gonna go traditionally.
Yeah.
But one more thing, credit to Nekomamushi and Inarashi for having the foresight. Because they always say a man should have insight, but also foresight. Foresight to anticipate that Kaido would prefer his dragon form, which would imply that Kaido wouldn't fight inside, since there's a lack of space. So they prepare the minks to be on the dome top prior to Kaido making that decision, which is actually genius. So credit to them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think throughout Wano, even through all this bullshit where people are saying Kaido got hurt, he's not what we expected. My respect for Kaido has kind of gone up. I'm starting to respect him, and even the Beast Pirates more. Where it's like they've shown that it's a lot more to them than just fucking being just mindless brutes. You know, like I think it's shown that these people, even out like the exterior that they show in regards to just being tough and being like a certain type of individual, it's a lot of thought that goes into the shit that they do. You know, even though it's a meritocracy and everything is based off of strength, it's so much going on that revolves around just their personality. It's kind of like why I can't wait to see what's up with Shanks's crew. I want to find out more about Blackbeard's crew. It's like what's the details behind everything that they do? What's the details behind Shanks and his rationale as to why he's doing the things that he's doing? You know, it's like, because that's the thing in One Piece. There's always a reason behind why characters are doing the things that they're doing.
Most of One Piece are driven by the cause and effect proposal, where a cause came by the effect and an effect came by the cause. So yeah, their personality could dictate how they behave, and their behavior could dictate what their personality is. So it does give us like an insight to try to be excited to see what the other crew function like. Where Kaido's crew more upfront and personal, where they will give you chances to actually fight them.
Yeah.
And they believe in meritocracy and all that. Where other crews might not do that. Like the Big Man Pirate is more about hierarchy in terms of seniority, about where they've been born.
Yeah.
A little bit of strength that's sprinkling there, but more so about birth.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
I mean, for
my
most
prediction is as good as yours.
Wait, go ahead.
My prediction is as good as yours. I have no idea what's going to happen next chapter.
Yeah, but that's why we read it, man. That's why it's great. And as critical as people think we are, sometimes it's like we're just telling you guys what we see, how we view it, and at the end of the day, we're doing all this because we love the series so much. So don't get offended. Don't take it.
I think you want to know well.
Oh, you said I derped out.
Yeah.
I was saying that for some people they think we critique the series too much. I'm like, we're doing it and we're just telling you what we see, but don't get it twisted. We absolutely love One Piece.
Yeah, we and Emperor Dritz are completely two different people.
Wait, listen. Dritz absolutely loves One Piece. I think Dritz has a standard in regards to where he feels like One Piece should be. So even Dritz and how he dissects One Piece, I appreciate his honesty in regards to how he goes about it and how he tells people how he's truly feeling. And I think sometimes with Dritz, it just shows, like when you go back and watch Dritz's old videos and how much he loves this series, and you can just feel the hurt and pain sometimes when he's talking about certain things where it's like it's just not what he expected it to be, So it's like, man, I feel like for Dritz's critique, I always appreciate them because it's a different perspective. And for me, I'm all about perspective, where it's like I like hearing a bunch of different perspectives because some things I agree with, some things I don't. But it's like, I think it's good that you're being honest with yourself and being honest with people about how you truly feel about something.
I too also appreciate Drit's honesty. I haven't really been catching up with his videos, but I'm assuming that in his videos he gives good reasons for why he dislikes certain stuff or why he likes certain stuff. And that's fair for him to do because there is a space for people like him that doesn't really enjoy every single aspect of One Piece to voice their opinion.
Right.
And also be an outlet and a voice for people who feel the exact same way because they're just not alone in this. There are many people who believe that One Piece has been doing things wrong.
For
And their
sure.
voices need to be heard too. And they could probably use new different perspective of what we're missing and what we didn't see and what we haven't really appreciated and what we haven't really criticized that much. So I would definitely, if I get a chance, I would check out one of his videos to see if his critique is as objective as I would think it would be.
Yeah.
But for now, 987 was a pretty good chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
pretty good chapter.
I really enjoyed
it.
this chapter. I enjoyed it a lot. Can't wait for next week. Chapter One Piece is on break, so which I guess so next week chapter be out next week. No chapter this week. But you know, it should be great. There's a lot going on. Onigashima, so far the raid has been good. It's been really good. Took a lot for us to get here, but we're here now. So you know, it's I think it only goes up. I think it only gets better because now we're gonna start getting into some of the higher ups fighting and more conflict between them, and then with Marco and Perospero coming in, it's gonna be great. It's really gonna be great. But got any closing thoughts? Anything else you wanna talk about?
Nothing else to be quite. I think we covered everything that we need to cover.
Yeah,
I think we did that. The only thing I want to say is probably thanks for the supporters for supporting us so far. We have seen your comments and we see the likes, we see the comments. We see that you guys have been supporting and enjoying the series. So just continue to rock with us, and we will rock with you too.
I'll put Lando's channel below where the other episodes have been. We'll try to alternate it. And then we'll go from there. Again, thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.